Today got a couple of GPX-4500s here, and I'm going to tell you some recommended settings to use them with. Just turn this one on at the moment. As you can see here, I'm using a very let that settle down. Using a very small lithium battery pack, which I make up, which allows you to plug it directly into the detector. What I usually do is put Velcro strips on the side here and also on the detector, and I mount the battery to the detector so I don't have any cables. It's got a 1/4 inch socket on the battery connector as well, and you can plug that into a small amplifier if you want, or you can connect your headphones directly into it. You don't need the amplifier in the existing Minelab battery. The detectors put out enough audio to drive headphones by themselves. I've got this driving a small amplifier over there at the moment. First thing you should know, there's been a lot of people who say use a mono coil in the double D setting on these detectors, and that's totally wrong. Let's switch there. When you use a mono, and when you use a double D, use a double D. There's a reason for that. In mono mode, these detectors have dual input preamps, and it uses both preamps in mono mode, and it only uses one in double D. So you should be able to get a better signal to noise ratio by using a mono in mono mode. Don't use a double D. That's just an old wives' tale going around out there. Also, when you're using enhance, which is up this way here, the timing switch, use enhance always in fixed tracking and ground balance the detector off. And what happens in enhance on very soft signals, it'll tend to track out the target with just one or two sweeps, and when it's not there you'll think it was just ground noise or something. But always use fixed in enhance. The other thing too about this, there was something very interesting. Ground balance type. Ground balance type on these, you should use general in most circumstances. And the biggest thing of all is the manual tuning, which is done on the back display here. You probably know where the manual tuning is. In your pick your function, and probably do it on this one. Okay. I always go the wrong way, don't I? Oh, there we go. I went past it. Manual tuning on these should always be set between 80 and 100, roughly speaking. All you do is tune it in that range from say 80 to 100 to get the most stable threshold. Now this detector I've done some work to. This is a modified GPX, and you can hear how quiet it is. It's very, very quiet. It is working. I'll just go and put stick that near the coil. What's it on at the moment? It's on enhanced mode at the moment, so I can flick it into normal. It's still just as quiet, so use that. So it's purring away quite nicely. Now there was some other interesting things about these detectors too, which not a lot of people know about. What else we got? Motion selection. Always use slow, or very slow if there's very bad EMI. The RX gain should be kept at 12. Try and get the most out of your detector. If you can use higher, but probably will bring in EMI and all sorts of ground noise. Audio setting normal. It's been proven to produce less MI and spurious noises. and audio tone 33, stabilizer 11. Don't go below 10. Higher the better, but 11 seems like a good number. Signal peak set at 19. Target volume 10 for headphones, 12 when using external speaker and amplifier. And the response is normal. Always set the response to normal. Tracking slow. Iron reject off, because it won't work with a monocoil anyway. And the biggest trick of all to get the perfect ground balance on these detectors. This was discovered by a fellow in Denali named John, goes by the handle of alluvium on the detecting forums. Very, very smart fellow, John. This is his way to get the perfect ground balance. Keep the coil parallel with the ground during the pumping procedure. Keep your coil stationary 30 millimeters above the ground. Hold in the green button on the handle. Now pump the coil using small, even movements of about 30 millimeters to 40 millimeters up and down at this height above ground. Bring the coil down slowly to the lowest point of the pump, 30 millimeters from the ground. Be sure to hold it really steady when you release the button. Never release the quick track button whilst the coil is moving or twisted, as this can affect the accuracy of the ground balance. It says be prepared to go through the procedure 2 or 3 times to get it just right. So I would take that as gospel, knowing the man it came from. So there's a bit of info on the GPX-4500, and just remember you can run a headphone connection off one of these batteries straight from it into an amp or whatever you want to do, and it makes it good because you haven't got any cables tying you up with the detector. You don't need that battery box as such. Just stick one of these on the side and take it off and stick it on the charger when you're finished. Anyway, that's that. Catch us later.